My little talk tonight, I titled A Living Legacy to the Leader of the Band. When I thought about the title of this presentation and the kind of what we were supposed to focus on, how has my past influenced the future, I thought about my present and my future. And the word that came to my mind was legacy. And what did that mean to me? And who were those people that came before me? And what did I learn from them? And so I started thinking about what is legacy. I started searching for a definition. And I found a definition written by Mary Gormandy White. It talks about the richness of someone's life is their legacy. And I thought, what a cool thing. And it really inspired me and thought a lot about the richness of the people whose lives have been in my past. And I also thought about the story of our personal life and how it reflects their individual legacy. Those are powerful words that made me think about the word legacy. Finally, she says, the things a person does and achieves through a lifetime form a powerful legacy that others will remember about them. There's people who have been in my past that I have fond memories of, and likely all of you here tonight have people in your past that shape the kind of person you are today. Well, I want to talk a little bit about those people and what I would like to think of as my legacy with my children and the people who I've come in contact with 40 years in education. So, this is me in elementary school. I told some of the students, this is not a picture that's got out in public real often. And I was in elementary school at this time, and I'm smiling in this picture, but I can assure you that the day I got that haircut, I was not smiling. And I can tell you also that I hid in my bedroom for 2 or 3 days after my dad shaved my head. And I don't know how they got me to smile at school, but they did. Anyway, that's an elementary school picture. There I am a little bit older. The dimples are still there. A little greasier hair, a little bit older. And there's my grade 9 picture, about the same age as some of these guys who spoke tonight. So that's what I looked like when I was younger. And I grew up in Montana, in the United States of America, in a little tiny town called Malta, Montana, up near the Canadian border. And Malta, Montana is an interesting place. It was incorporated in 1890. And when they incorporated the town of Malta, Montana, literally the founding fathers of the town spun a globe, put their finger down on the planet, and they landed on the island of Malta. And that's what the forefathers, how they named the tiny town. About 1,600 people now, and in Malta, Montana. And I grew up listening to stories told by my grandparents, my mother's parents, God rest their souls. And they would drive 200 miles to come see me in Malta, Montana, my family. And I would sit captivated listening to the stories they would tell of their travels. Where did they go? They went to places like Oregon, 800 miles away. And for me, it could have been on the other side of the planet. It could have been the North Pole. It didn't matter. They would tell stories about the rugged Pacific coastline and sea lions and wine they drank and cheese they ate and people that they met. It was incredible stories. And I sat there with my mouth wide open, taking it all in. And they talked about going to wild places like Minnesota. and they talked about the Great Lakes and the amazing trees and the beautiful landscape in Minnesota. And so if you looked at the legacy perhaps my grandparents left for me, it would be easy to say that they left for me a love of travel and adventure. And while that is true, they left with me a legacy for me much greater and more important than that. They left a legacy for me of respect for themselves, for others, and the environment. They were such kind, respectful, amazing people. There's not two people, Bruce and Ruth Garlinghouse were the name of my grandparents. There are not two people I've ever met in my lifetime that were more faithful to their God than my grandparents. And they lived that life that way each and every day of their life. The love of music, certainly the fact that I love music and it's been a part of my life came from my grandparents, my first roots, if you will. My grandmother was an organist at church for many years. My grandfather sang at church. And they were some of the happiest, most joyful people you would ever meet. And certainly they instilled in me a love of family because they demonstrated that to their own children and to me as a grandson. This is the Hould Ranch. This is where in a couple weeks, 10 days from now, I'm going to show up at this place. The house on the left-hand side of that picture is the house where I grew up. And I'm going to spend some time there playing pool in the basement with my brothers. And I'll be feeding cows with my other brother out on the farm and the ranch. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. Yes, it smells like cow dung and everything else, but it's a marvelous place. It's a magical place for me, and I look forward to going home. When I was growing up, these are some of my family, my brother and I. That's when I wore glasses once upon a time. My 2 sisters, my stepmom, and my dad, God rest his soul. He passed about 6 years ago. And I spent a lot of time working with him on the ranch and the farm, but I also spent a lot of time playing golf with him. It's really where they instilled the love of golf in me, and this is my brother and my nephew, his son, and then my dad. And we had lots of fun watching golf, and we had lots of fun playing golf. And it was just a special time in my life, mostly when I was an adult, but we spent a lot of time together doing those things.